Coming up this week on the show, Peter James Stephen from Synth Southwest show and Proc Synth Network going to be joining me to talk about the Synth Southwest show coming up next month. I think you're going to really enjoy this chat because it's a great show that he's got coming up, and we've got lots of synth chat as well. We're going to be talking about emulators and a bit of nostalgia on other synths as well. So I think you're going to really enjoy this. Right, let's get straight to Peter. Peter, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. Yeah,
it's great to get you on. I mean, really, we've got a topic to talk about, but I'm just looking behind you there, and I recognise the emulator there. In fact, actually, that's been signed as well, is it?
Of course, yeah. Well, we did Bristronica in 2024, which was the 40th anniversary of the Emulator 2, and Dave Rosen joined us, so it was great. So Robbie and I took everything we owned that was Emulator and got him to sign the lots, like you do. So that was great. That was a good day.
Absolutely brilliant. Yeah. So so tell us. You're from Proc Synth Network. We've met at Synthfest.
That's right.
And but yeah. So just tell us about Proc Synth now. Then I want to talk about a really exciting event coming up.
Right. Okay. Well, Proc Synth Network is a YouTube thing we do on a Friday night. I don't usually host it. It's Robbie Pericelli hosts it, and it's basically we talk about the new synthesizers and we have special guests. So that's basically what we do on a Friday night. So,
and you have it so you can. Yeah, I usually catch up sort of on the Monday or.
Yeah, sure.
Which
is always good. It's always good to do that. And Robbie and I try and do as many of the shows, the live shows as we can. We take. We're able to get a selection of synthesizers, old synthesizers, usually vintage stuff, something people can't usually see, and we take those on the road with us. We do Synthfest, we do Bristronica, we go to Berlin, but we don't take anything there. We tend to take the camera around and film the latest products and things. And we've got Synths this weekend coming, actually, in Norwich. We're doing a Roland show this year. We've got the Juno 106, the Juno 6, the JX10, and a Jupiter X we're going to take out on just to sort of compare things and let people play with them and things like that. So that's, fairly where we're at the moment. And yeah.
Well, and Rob's been on the show. We talked.
Yes,
that was great. And it's a nice community that you guys have built up there as well. I'm part of the Facebook group, and it's my regular happy place to go. And
well, if you've got a question, there's always somebody can answer it. That's the beauty of it. Yeah, which is great. We've got some experts.
And the nice posts that you see on there. There's nothing. I'm not a particular fan of sort of going online for negativity, as most. I guess
we're
most
a friendly
are,
bunch.
But yeah, it's a nice friendly place. So I definitely recommend that, and I'll include a link for that in the notes on this. Brilliant. But what I wanted to talk to you about is Synth Southwest, the show that you've got coming up, and I can't make it this year, but I'm definitely going to try and make sure I get down to it next year. So just tell us about Synth Southwest and when is it?
Well, we decided, like I said to you earlier, we go to everybody else's show. So we thought, let's try and do our own. I'm based down in Dawlish anyway, which is handy. Dawlish is a lovely little seaside town. It's got rail network right on the beach. So you can get to from the Midlands, you can get from London. Very easy to get to. Very easy to drive to because it's literally off the end of the M5. So, just extra and turn right, basically. So we thought, let's try, so we've got a couple of venues down there. We've got the Strand Centre, which is a nice big sort of hall. And we've also got a theatre, which is usually used for this sort of time. It's panto season, and it's a typical seaside sort of town. But, out of season, they're desperate for different things to happen. So I approached I'm on the Chamber of Commerce. I sit on the board. So I had a chat with everybody and said, what do you think? And everybody once I explained to them what a synthesizer was, because that was quite interesting, because Dawlish is very set in its ways. It's kind of 1980s still down there, which I love. I think it's brilliant. So
that's who doesn't want to go back to maybe
exactly
at my age, but who doesn't?
It's a typical seaside town. You've got fish and chip shops, cream tea shops, and ice cream shops. What more do you want? So we thought, let's have a synthesizer fair. There's nothing past Bristol. We've got Bristronica in Bristol. We've got things in Cambridge, and once you get past Bristol into sort of Devon and Cornwall, there's nothing that sort of anybody can come along to a synthesizer sort of, a show. So we thought, let's try it. And there's a lot of people. It's amazing how many people are coming out of the woodwork that live in Devon and Cornwall. Oh, this is great. I can't believe you're doing something on our doorstep. So we've had a lot of enthusiastic people. So it's great.
Yeah, I can imagine, because like I was saying to you before, that's the nice thing about Synthfest, which is up in Sheffield, but it's just a quick hop over the Pennines for me, so it's not too far. It was just amazing to have an event I could go to that wasn't too far, and meet like-minded people. So it's great to put that together.
That's what we're looking at. But I thought, rather than just have a sort of an expo where you have manufacturers and enthusiasts, let's go a little bit one step further and have sort of have people performing there as well. So we've got a sort of a festival vibe as well. So we've taken over the theatre in the evening. We've got 4 acts playing there, which I can tell you who they are actually. Hang on, I've got my little list here. So our headline act is none other than Dave Bessel from the supergroup Node. Now, what was really special about this was he approached us and said, "Can I play at your show?" So yeah, so that was great. So he was booked. So he's the and we've also got Ty Unwin. Now you obviously know who Ty Unwin is. The writes and records music for the BBC and lots of other things like that, and he's very rarely performs live. In fact, the last time he played live was a Sonic State show back in 2018. So we're very lucky to have Ty. He's going to be doing a half an hour set for us. And then we've got Dr. Mike Metley. Now, if you watch the show, you've probably seen Dr. Mike come on. He's actually flying in from Colorado, which is fantastic. He's flying into London, and he's picking a friend of his up who's going to come down and play with him, and so he'll be playing as well. So, and I'm going to open the show. I thought, well, why not? So my sort of background is I wouldn't say failed musician, but I tried to make it in the music industry until about 1999, gave it up. Went back to my sort of career, which is surveying and planning, but I also ran a computer business. I was manufacturing liquid cooled computers for the construction industry. So I thought, I was a big EMU operator at the time, and EMU were going software, and I thought, well, we need to put EMU back in the box. So I came up with the idea with EMU Scotland, and we got together and produced the Vampire Rack system. So that's what I did then. But once that was over, I then went and helped the Vulcan to the Sky Trust, and I spent 10 years with them trying to get the Vulcan flying. You probably saw it flying in the air shows and things. So once that had finished, I thought, well, let's go back to music again. But I got very, very friendly with the Olympus engine and the Rolls Royce Heritage Trust, and they've given me all the diaries to the people that helped produce the engine that eventually powered Concorde and the Vulcan and every other thing. So I've written a piece of music, and I've got people and all their diaries, and we've got things being said in the background with film. So that's going to be my little set for the evening. Brilliant. So yeah, just something a bit different. So that's what we're doing there. But the actual expo itself, if I just get that back on my list here, I can tell you about that. Yes, lineup. We've got 20 people. We've got 20 tables booked up. It's been a bit of a slow burn, but we've filled the hall now. So we've got enthusiasts. We've even hopefully got Korg coming, Korg UK. So they're going to be bringing some new stuff down with them, so people can play and thing. We've got Kent Spong, who is he's our technician that's always on the show. He's got a vast amount of kit that he's repairing for people, and people have left it with him in his care. So we've actually got a 2600 Tonus, number 24, I think it is, one of the very early ones. So we're going to have that rigged up so people can come and play that. There may even be a Rhodes Chroma as well, but that depends on whether we can lift it and get it in the car, because that's a big old beast.
Big one, yeah.
But we're going to have lots of vintage things like that, really. So, yeah, we've got Molten Modular is going to come down. Robin's going to bring some bits and bobs. We've got, like I said, we've got Korg. We've got Cherry Audio, hopefully sponsoring the show for us. So they're going to be giving us some merchandise and some things for a raffle, perhaps. So basically, the actual show is non-for-profit, and we're going to be supporting the Alan R. Pearlman Foundation and the Bob Moog Foundation. So anything we raise will be split between the two. And yeah, that's kind of how it's going to all pan out, I think.
So you're making sure you don't favour one genius synthesis or another.
No, we work very
covered.
closely with Michelle and Dina, so we do try and keep them both happy. You've got to.
Yeah.
But I think they're great causes.
And I think the nice thing about these things as well is it's the opportunity to meet like-minded people. One of the things I've noticed to doing this podcast. So we've had some people that more high profile, and some people are just enthusiasts, and the enthusiasts say it's great to just go on to something and just to talk to somebody other than my wife who's not particularly interested in me talking about synthesizers.
So do this, don't they? Of course, my top of my head, what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're quite right.
So it's nice, I guess, to get together and meet other people.
Exactly, you can really nerd out, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and then I suppose so you get hands on with the gear and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And so like I say, the expo is from 10 till 5, so got a long old day that people can come in and go. The beauty of Dawlish, you can come and go. We've got wristbands, so they can come in and out and do what they like. And we've got some live performances in the day as well. We've got Ian J. Cole. He will be performing for us for about half an hour set in the morning. And then we've got a great band. There's a local band called Bang Bang Clang. And they're kind of a covers band. They're all ex-session players, but they're going to be playing some 80s sort of stuff at lunchtime, just to sort of break the day up, really. And then we're finishing off in the daytime with Ed Garcia, and he's going to do a half an hour set for us as well. And all these people are viewers of the show and people that help us out along the way, So it's great. It's great that everybody's coming together. It's all very well doing an internet sort of only show, but it's nice to meet people as well, meet them in physical. We go to Berlin every year and we meet everybody there, and it's just nice to do something a little bit local. So that was the idea behind it all, anyway.
Yeah. I think it's a brilliant idea. And so if people want to get tickets, how do they get those? And how much are they?
The tickets are £10 per show, but if you go to both of the shows there, we've knocked £2 off and they're £18. You can get them from synthsouthwest.com, which is a website. Whether you can put a link on that'd be great. And or you can get them at the direct from the box office at the theatre in Dawlish. Now that's the other thing. Dawlish have been brilliant. They're handling all our tickets for us. We don't have to do any of that worry. So we've been well looked after. So in that, respect, so it's good.
Yeah, and I suppose that's the nice thing about it. It's almost got like a family-run vibe to it again, I guess, because you've got a nice community and small group of people. Not too
big, but not too small either. It's just right, I think. Yeah. We're not going to be the next NAMM, that's for sure. But things may grow.
Well, there used to be a lot of shows. I mean, on this podcast, before I did more into music, I used to do a lot more of the tech and gadget stuff, and there used to be like a gadget show one, and then there was, I covered CES and things like that, and those are great. But those shows they've kind of lost the gadget shows doesn't exist anymore, and the CES still does, but it's kind of a bit diluted from what I used to do on it. But so I think these smaller shows are more interesting now. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, and it's more, like you say, hands-on, local. And that's what we're trying to achieve anyway. Yeah.
So it must be it's a difficult thing to pull off as well. I guess it takes a lot of planning, even though it's like you say it's a small show. But I guess you put a lot of work into getting this going.
You don't realise I got a little notepad by the side of the bed, and if I think something in the middle of the night, I'm pretty right. It's things like insurance and things you don't think about, So we've got insurance, and obviously the capacity of the places that we're using for the venues. So you got to make sure that you don't overcrowd things, and you don't have too many people, or it's just little things like that. And we've had a lot of help from Robin. He's given us a lot of help. He runs the Robin Vincent. He runs the Synth East, which is in Norwich. So we've sort of kind of nabbed a few ideas from him, and and also Marco, who runs the Bristronica one, which has grown massively. When I first started going there, that was just a very small event, but that's over 2 massive great warehouses now over 2 days. So people have helped us along the way, and we've also got a brilliant cameraman who's based in Dawlish. He does, I don't know if you've ever watched the Coast Cams. They do filming of where they've been doing the repairing of the seawall for the railway. So he's been filming all that with drones and things. So he's going to film the event for us as well, which is great. So we're not going to live stream or anything clever like that, but we will put out the live performances at a later date, which should be good. And yes, and he's been very helpful, and he actually filmed a promotional video for me, which I did for the show, which we drowned a few synthesizers.
Yes, I've watched that.
Yeah, well, I got a lot of
flack. I
flack
was going to ask you about that.
But those synthesizers were very dead before we started. They were from Kent Spong's garage. The bits where he used this for spares, really. They weren't. The Jupiter 4.
You put a disclaimer at the end saying no synthesizers are harmed in the making of these videos. Yeah.
I got a lot of flack from you. Can't do that to a Jupiter floor. Well, I prove one thing: Jupiter floors do float.
Yeah,
so that was quite funny. But yeah, it's all good fun. But you've got to put them on the beach and put a bit of sea behind them, haven't you? So
I like the posters actually that you sent me as well. They were, and
as you know, I'm a bit of a Vulcan buff anyway, so I stuck that on there. But of course, the English Electric Deltic is one of the ones that runs along that railway line, and they bring it out every year. So I thought, well, it's a Dawlish connection, and let's face it, we're all train spotters at the end of the day. So. It's all good fun. All good fun.
Yeah. Well, I'm just reminded us the date.
The date is the 21st, first day of spring, 21st of March. Next March. Yeah. Or this March coming. Yeah. 21st. Yeah.
Yeah. That's brilliant. I think. I really. When you said about coming down, I was like, oh yeah, I couldn't make it. But the more I've talked about it, the more like, I'm really envious now. So
well, again, the bed and breakfasts they're being very useful because they're all out of season. They're all grateful for the people using them, and there's Airbnbs that are being booked up. So and you can actually drive. A lot of we booked our event before the London Synth and Pedal show, which is also unfortunately on the same weekend. We didn't know at the time because nobody was booked anything when we booked it over a year ago. So, but you can do both because they're both days, and there's nothing stopping you doing ours on the Saturday, getting on the train straight up to Paddington, and you're there, and it's only 2.5 hours on the train. So, you can do both. If people are having to decide which one to come to both.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Well,
I've already started dropping hints to my wife about how nice Dawlish is this time. It's March. Just
a lot of people are bringing their
wife.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the beauty of it because the wives don't want to know about synthesizers, but they're quite happy to have a wander around a seaside town and have a cup of tea and a cream cake or whatever, aren't they? So
So I've just started. I'm just working on that. Started that now, so to get it.
Well done. So we might see you yet then, Ian.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And in terms of let's talk about some of your gear now, because you showed me the emulator stuff at Synthfest. I can see a nice selection of synths behind you.
We're sort of in the middle of moving stuff out because I've got another room which I use for the stuff ready for the live events. So this weekend we're going to look at some Roland gear. So I've taken all the Roland gear out and made sure all working and things. And then I'm going to pop up to Kent Spong's, who's an Epson, on the way, and pick up this Tonus, which should be great to show off. So yeah, I'm a bit of a collector when it comes to vintage stuff, and at the moment I'm really into CS's, so the Yamahas. So hopefully we'll be doing a show with some very old CS's soon. But it's just the interest that people have about seeing this gear that you wouldn't normally see. And we're lucky to have Ken that can service this stuff and keep it going, because there's nothing worse than turning something on and it goes pop on you. So. So I've been collecting synthesizers and bits and bobs since '85, really, and I've just, what it's like. You never sell anything, do you? You just keep adding adding to the pile.
I went to in the early 2000s of sort of selling things.
Yeah, you regret that, don't you?
Yeah. My JX3P is the one I really still hurts. With programmer as well.
Yeah.
And then I got rid of a Mirage and a Simmons SDS5.
Oh, right.
But to be fair, I mean the Simmons. I'm not a great drummer. I'm just a keyboard player, so I have nowhere to put the drum. But the JX3P, I do. I had my reasons at the time. I was thinking it made sense because everything was going, digital, and I was going in the box and things in 2000. But I also, I had young kids and you don't have the space or the money. You don't
have the space and you got bills to pay. I get it. But the one that really hurts me is when I left school, we had a Synthy AKS in the cupboard that nobody really wanted. All the schools were given either Synthies or ARPs, and our school had a Synthy, and I said to the the school teacher, can I buy it? Yeah, nobody uses it. 50 quid. So I bought the Synthy AKS in the briefcase, a proper thing, and I just got fed up with it as a 16-year-old. I thought, this is boring. So I flogged it for 150 quid. I thought, oh, I've done all right here. Now you look at the prices, you think, yeah. So I'm hoping Behringer will come trumps with their VCS3, but that seems doubtful now as well. So, but yeah, you get these. Everyone's got a story, haven't they?
Yeah, that's it. Done. yeah, because that's one of the questions I ask on the show to everybody is sort of, what's the synth that got away? What's the one thing that you hadn't sold? Is that yours then? Yeah,
that's mine. Yeah. But, it is what it is.
Yeah. And what about ones? Have you got any ones that you've had over these and kept? Maybe it's not the best or the most expensive. Or have you got one sort of that you just kept for almost for sentimental reasons? You take, if you move house and you take it with you, and
if this is caught fire now, I run out with a Chroma Polaris. That is my. I've had 3 actually, and I've got 1 left. And again, the Chroma Polaris came out after the Rhodes Chroma, and I think they brought about 100 into this country in 1984, and nobody bought them because they came in just as the DX7 was launched, and everybody, what do we want this thing for when we can get this, and they wanted 1,700 quid for this brand new kit. So I managed to buy. We had when I was living near Bath, there was a lovely little shop called Duxon and Pink, and they had 2 in there, and they'd had them for years. So I bought them for a couple hundred quid each, I think, and that is my go-to synth. I love it. It's so rare. And again, I like to take that on shows and show people because it's just a nice rare bit of kit, So that would be my go-to if I had a problem. And of course, the emulator, if I could carry it quickly.
Yeah.
Again, that's I've had that a while as well. So it's.
And there's something with the emulator as well. I suppose it's an iconic instrument of musical.
Yeah,
of the music industry, sound design, industrial design. It's kind of
it's iconic, isn't it? It's that shape, the wedge. It's
Pet Shop Boys, Chris Lowe behind. One of those. It instantly it takes you back to the 80s.
It does. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and even bands you associate more with analog synth, like Tangerine Dream, one of my favorite groups. They were using emulators and everything else. It's a lovely instrument.
Yeah, the first time I saw an emulator I was lucky enough to go and see the Human League back in '86. I think it was on their Crash tour, and they were supported by Drum Theatre, and they had an emulator too. First time I ever seen one, it was like in the flesh. You'd seen it on top of the pops. Like, oh, I've got to have one of these, and you aspire, don't you? You think, right, start saving now. So I did.
Yeah. And at the Synthfest, you had quite a selection on the show.
We were lucky. We had somebody, or Kent had an emulator 1 in at that time, so it was nice to have the full suite. So we had that as well. I think Robbie brought his Emax, and then I had the emulator. We got the 4, we got the 3 and the 4 up in the rack here. If you can see, if I can turn this thing around, you'd be able to see there. There's some racks and stuff over there with the emulators in, and and of course we had the Vampire Rack as well, which I call the Emulator 5 because it was at the end of EMU systems when Creative Labs had basically bought them out just to harvest their chips because that's all they really wanted, and that was the end of that, which was a great shame. But things move on, don't they? So.
Yeah. So aside from the emulator and the Polaris, then what sort of maybe at the moment? Then you mentioned about CSs. What's got your interest at the moment?
I got a CS20M, which I bought to next to nothing, which actually on Kent's workbench at the moment, and he's cussing me at the moment, but he's going to get that going for me. And that was the first synthesizer with preset memories, so digital preset memories. So that's quite an iconic machine. The CS15D. I like the SKs as well, which is the string machines. I've got an SK30, beautiful condition, which we took on the road last year, which hopefully we'll take out again because a lot of people loved seeing that. I've actually got a CP70B in the next studio, which is great. I'm more of a piano player than a synth player. That's how I sort of learned. So I like to sort of mix and match
That's well, one of my other favourite groups is Genesis, and
there you
instant Tony Banks when you hear one of those.
Well, this actually came out of Voxtrox Studios in Camden, which is where Amy Winehouse used to rehearse and sing. So it's got a bit of provenance, that one. But again, it's a nice bit of kit. And but my actual live set that I'm going to do, I'm using the modern stuff. I'm using the Korg WaveState SE. I absolutely love that. Having had a WaveStation originally, and I watch your videos, you know, telling me how to use them. I think it's great. So I got a WaveState SE and the Op6, which I think the Op6 is amazing.
Oh, I've just got one of them over here.
I've just got into that. Well, I used to, when I was in the band back 20 years ago, I had a DX5, and that went pop on me. But all my sounds, I managed to load it straight into the Op6, no problem at all. And the fact that you can play with the algorithms on the fly, it's just fantastic.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? In fact,
I love it.
At lunchtime today, I usually at lunchtime I try and do some tutorial videos, and I did. It's still on the. I don't think the patch name is still on the screen that I was working on. Juno strings.
Wow, there you are then.
So that's what I've done. So that in a couple of weeks' time, that video will be out, and I did a tutorial on that, because you can, with the algorithms, you can say, okay, well, an MS-20 has 2 oscillators going into a low pass then a high pass, so I'll make that, and then think, well, a Juno has 2. So I've actually got it for the FM and stayed for the analog.
I think it's wonderful, and I like the way they're doing the rack mount versions now as well. They're great, aren't they?
So
if you haven't got the space,
WaveState's over there, and that's the rack mount version as well. By the way, I love the WaveState as well. That's I've really enjoyed programming that one, and like you said, because of the wave station samples and wave sequences are in there.
They're all there.
It's one of the it's one of the sort of it's one of those synths. The wave stations where if I had a bit more room, I think every time I go on eBay or Reverb, I get a wave station, but I bought a DW8000, so I have no space left now. I've used all my space.
Right, that is the trouble. And I've got an SR somewhere in the rack, but I haven't got the keyboard anymore, the X, WS, but
but then the WaveState, like for especially, that's I suppose the nice thing if you're actually playing live, having a nice modern.
Oh, that's awesome!
Piece of reliable kit as opposed to the fragile
kit, with memories that you can go to the presets you want straight away. Because I grew up with workstations. I had the D20. I've got a thing about workstations. I had a
D20.
Well, that's what annoyed me. Where the M1 was supposed to be the first workstation, but it didn't have a disk drive. You couldn't save anything. Didn't have So the D20 was my first workstation. Then I went on to the what do I have next? We still got Trinity. That was my next one, which was just for 1995. That thing was amazing. And then I got on to I got a Triton down here, and then I got the M3 here just behind me, which
I think I've got a Karma there.
Oh right, yeah,
and
that's got the Karma engine,
and a Radius up there, which is like the M3.
Yeah, wow.
But I had a D20. In fact, I recently, about 2 years ago, a D11, D110. Which is like the rack. Yeah. And it was a real nostalgia trip going through the presets and hearing those sounds from the D20.
Yeah. And you could save them to floppies, and I managed to get. And that's the thing about floppies. Even the Emulator 2 floppies, I've not had one bad. I've had this since 95, and I've not had a bad floppy drive. Everybody says, floppy disks don't last, but as long as you keep them in a reasonable condition, in a no damp and all the rest of it, they do last.
The Karma disk drive works fine. I don't use it very often, but it does work. In fact, somewhere in the loft, I've got some D20 discs.
Oh well, there you are.
I've still got not got the synth, but I've got the discs.
Yeah, well, there you are. Hey, you never know, I might be able to trade those for you then.
But I suppose it's nice. That's the good thing now, isn't it? That you've got this vast. You can go back and pick up old hardware. Right, back CS stuff from 70s and 80s, right the way through, and then you can also get like the WaveState modern stuff and still get that kind of same sounds that you want as well.
You can. And the fact that Behringer are bringing out stuff really cheaply, you can pick that sort of stuff up as well. Whether you like it or not, it's still out there. So
Yeah, I got the Behringer Selena.
Oh right,
and I got the RD78, but the Selena there's something about that. You can put on a track and just put the Selena on there. And
Yeah.
I mean, I like the string machine. So you mentioned about the Yamaha string machine.
Yeah.
There's something.
There is something magical about
those things. Whether it's nostalgia and it takes you back to that, to the sounds of those records with those on, or there is just genuinely something special about those sounds.
I think you're right. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So, well, it'll be actually. So, you'll be playing? Are you taking some of your gear then to hands-on at the show? And
I think probably I will. Yeah. The fact that, the house is just up the road, literally 100 yards up the street, so it's not a problem. So I can just wheel it down. Not a problem at all. So yeah, I'll get something that people can play with. We've got, like I said, we've got 20 tables with other people, but there's plenty of room to put another table out and put some bits and bobs. Just let people have a play, Yeah.
I think that's the other thing is, in this day and age now, where 20 years ago or whatever, even 10 years ago, you had music stores that you could nip into and go and play. Yeah. And I said I was, my sons are in their 20s now, but even when they were younger, we used to go to a music shop and on a Saturday, and we just go and play on the new gear, and And when I was, they're all gone now, and it's it. So shows like this are one of the few places
it's the only place you can get hands on. Yeah, you're quite right, because it's all very well looking at watching videos, but you don't know until you've got something in your hands and you're actually playing it, whether it's going to suit you or not. But I miss the music shops. Even not quite recently, I used to go shopping with the wife, and she would go in one direction and I used to go to a music shop and stay there all afternoon, but can't even do that anymore.
And I think even especially when I was in the as a teenager, you would go in and play on whatever play on a D50, and I know I couldn't afford one, but the D20 I eventually did afford, or you could. I got a DX100 for my birthday when I was about 14, but I went into the shop and played on a DX7, and said, this is what I want. I can't afford it, but it was
next best thing.
Which I suppose it's a shame now that there isn't that. Hands-on.
Sign of the times, I think, but they're even Manny's in New York have closed now, haven't they? So it's not, used to be a nice little holiday. I'm going to go over there, but no, they've all gone. That is the big shame. But it's the sign of the times, isn't it? It's very easy to get something online, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So that's why I think it's brilliant shows like yours, which at least we can get to go on hands-on and get a bit of inspiration.
And like you say, the people like Korg, Yamaha, and Roland, they want to do it. They want to show off their gear. They can't rely on videos and things. So it is good that they want to come as well.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping it will be bigger next year. But at the moment, we're doing all right.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, that's really good to hear.
Yeah.
Well, it's been brilliant talking to you. I'll make sure I include the links to everything in the description on the video and on the podcast.
Okay, cool.
And I think we'll have to get you back on to. We haven't done an emulator show, so I think perhaps
I can do that for you. Yeah, no problem.
An emulator show.
Quite a bit of things like that. Yeah, no problem.
All right. Great. Well, thanks for talking to me.
No problem at all. Thanks, Ian.